What's up YouTube, it's Go Explicit, the best source for GTA 5 knowledge, and I'm going to be showing you the best locations to buy for all your businesses in GTA 5. So let's just start out with the bunker. So if you don't have a bunker and you have the money for one, then you need to buy one. It makes you money without you having to do anything except resupply it. If you have the money, then you can actually just buy the supplies. It's one of the first things I recommend that you buy when you start out in GTA 5, so you need to have a bunker. I actually have the one out in Shumash. I think this is the best location for all the bunkers just because it's close to the city and there's nothing you can actually buy in the city. But the general principle that I'm going to preach this entire video is that you want to kind of keep everything close together. No matter where you put your businesses, whether that be in the city, in the desert, or even Paleto Bay, keeping them together is probably going to be the best bet for you no matter how much money you have. That way that you can go to the same general location whenever you log on. So I have the one out in Shumash. It's the closest one. Whenever you sell, usually you can just access the highway and go down. I think that bunker is a really good bet for you. It's fairly cheap. You can still save up for it. When the bunkers go on sale, that's probably the best time to buy them, just because of how much they drop down. But I know people buy the cheapest one up here and the Paleto Forest. The desert's never a bad bet just because the airway's right here, but they're a little bit more expensive. So know that buying the most expensive business anywhere in GTA 5 Online doesn't necessarily mean that that's the best location, but it is going to be useful. So the Shumash bunker is what I have. It's definitely the one that I recommend, but like I said, you want to keep all your businesses close together. Next up, let's cover the MC clubhouses you can buy and all the businesses that come with that. So like I said, you really just want to keep everything the same general area. This one does have stuff in the city, and a lot of people spawn in the city or start out here, so it's never a bad bet to buy any of these. Clubhouses are pretty cheap. There's not really too many that will really just break your bank, especially if you're starting out, a couple 100,000 here and there. That's not too hard to make. I actually had the clubhouse right here. It was fairly cheap, and when I bought it at the very beginning, that's kind of all I was going for, but it turned out to work out because all my businesses are right in this area. Like I said, if I could do it over, I would probably start in the city. I may switch all of my businesses to convert to city locations, but right now it works out fine for me. All I do is fly out here. You don't actually use your clubhouse that much anymore. When it first came out, that's when we used it, but all my businesses are pretty much in this location. And I'll show you that here in a second. So clubhouses don't really matter as much, but I would just say stick to your budget or use whatever is close to the businesses that you do plan on buying. There's some out in Paleto, there's some in the desert, and then there's some in the city, like I said. So just kind of keep everything in the general area. So as you can see, most of my businesses are right here around the clubhouse. The pink would be my businesses that I have bought. I have the meth lab right here next to it. There's my counterfeit cash, my cocaine. This is all close, especially with an oppressor. This is 2, 3, 4, 5 second drive for that. The closest I could get for the document forgery was right here, but like I said, that's not that bad of a flight. You don't really do too many sales with document forgery as is, just because it doesn't make that much money. It's not really worth investing in unless maybe it's on double money. And then the weed farm, the closest I could get was right here too. But like I said, keeping them in the same general location is pretty solid. I know that each of the businesses do have city locations. If you have the money, then it's worth it, but it does cost more to be in a city, so just kind of keep that in mind. But like I said, when you buy stuff, the main principle is just keeping them in the same locations. That way that you can go back to the same area for your sales and resupplies and everything, and you're not going to be flying around the entire map, bouncing from one to the other if you do run your MC business stuff. So your CEO property and its warehouses. When the CEO update actually came out, it was probably the biggest thing that I grinded. It's still pretty important, but the actual property itself isn't as big of a deal anymore. There is 4 locations that you can buy for it, and all you have to do is go to Dynasty 8 and then Executive. And then, like I said, the 4 locations, they actually don't matter. You can attach a garage to each of them. There are different prices. I bought the cheapest one when it came out because that's just kind of what I was on, was just going for cheap. But the Maze Bank Tower is probably one of the more popular ones. Arcadius is pretty popular too, but they're expensive. I don't think the location really matters anymore, so that you can buy your terabyte. You can just call that in wherever. I would keep everything where your warehouses are. So like I said, though, CEO properties, they don't really matter as much location wise, and there's only 4 locations and they're not that far apart. But the warehouses do matter. Once you buy your organization, I would invest in the vehicle cargo. This is going to be the quickest way for you to make money in the game. It's going to be the easiest way for you to steal cars, sell them, make money. You can do it by yourself. There's a cooldown period. The vehicle warehouse is definitely the easiest way to make money in my mind when you're starting out. If you don't have it, I recommend you buy it immediately. I have this La Mesa warehouse. I feel like most people bought this one just because it's cheap. That actually doesn't matter now, but it's fairly not too far. I have an oppressor, so I just fly there, but you could always get a buzzard, and if you're a CEO, you can call that in, but it's not too far from your office. If you have a terabyte, then like I said, it doesn't really matter where the warehouse is, but I try to keep everything kind of in that southeast location of the map for all my warehouses, but like I said, I would just keep your stuff together. Being in the city or maybe North Vinewood for most of the missions would be the best, just location-wise, but if you don't have a vehicle warehouse, you should buy one, especially if you're just starting out or you don't have a lot of money. I would say this is one of the better ways to make money in GTA 5. For special cargo is an okay way to make money, but I really don't use it too much. If it's on double money, maybe you do. If you don't make a lot, still the same principle applies though. For warehouses, I just kind of try to keep everything in the same location. So like I said, the vehicle warehouse was over here. My other two warehouses are fairly close. Price always matters, especially if you don't have a lot. So I would just keep everything in the same general area. Keeping everything in the city is probably key for the warehouses. There's small ones you can buy, there's mediums, and there's large ones, obviously. The large one's a better investment. I don't really do these anymore, so I didn't really do too much special cargo investment in the first place. But I would just keep everything in the city, in the same general area. That way that you can access things quickly. Special vehicle work, it's more just fun missions to do. I don't think they're super crucial or anything, but it helps you to unlock different things and use different vehicles. So if you want to do those, you can. And now the nightclubs. So nightclubs make you money without actually having to do anything. They're just like bunkers, MC businesses, things like that. All you have to do is have the MC businesses, cocaine, meth, weed farm, in order to have your staff make money for you. So location wise for the nightclub, I think most are going to be in the city. I bought the more cheaper Vespucci Canals nightclub just because when it came out, like I said, I was on a cheap grind, but I do like the Vinewood ones. Nightclub location wise, I don't think that any of these in the city are going to be a bad choice for you. I don't really mess with the one down in Elysian Islands, but it is pretty cheap. Most of the time that you're selling and stuff, you drive in the city, you'll go to Sonora Desert, occasionally Paleto Bay. So I think that whatever your budget is probably going to be the best for you in your nightclub. They're all cool. They all are able to be customized the same way. So location-wise, I would just stick with anything in North Los Santos. The Canals isn't bad. Downtown wouldn't be bad. Strawberry Nightclub or even Mission Row. I think that any of these nightclubs locations are going to be good for you to help you make money. Arcade-wise, arcade actually is a pretty simple choice. The casino is right here, so you're going to want to buy either this arcade, which is the one I have, Video Geddon at La Mesa, because it's very, very close. You can fly over there, drive over there, or do whatever. Or I would purchase the one in Vinewood, 8-bit. You're going to be able to access the casino quickly. Most of the missions are scattered everywhere, so I think that you're going to just either get lucky or have to drive a long ways whenever you're doing missions. But these arcades are in the city, so they're still helpful, but they're still far. I would just go whatever's closest to the casino, because you're always going to be doing the casino heist in the arcade. It makes a little bit of money off of the machines that you can buy, but the casino heist is definitely the best way to make money right now, even with stuff being on double money. Grape Seed is pretty far, and Paleto, I know that if you have your Twitch stuff linked up, Paleto's free, but the drive there is brutal. I wouldn't recommend buying it. I would say saving up and spending money on something closer to the casino is going to save you a lot. The time that it saves you is going to be more valuable than that money, that 1.2 million with it being free. So I would buy La Mesa or Vinewood is probably going to be your best two bets for your arcade. Facilities wise, so facilities are great if you're going to do the Doomsday heist and if you're going to store your Avenger. But if you're not doing the heist, which a lot of people aren't doing it if it's not on double money, then it really doesn't matter where you put your facility. I know a lot of people have done the desert just because that's where everything is. I don't really mess with my facility. I bought the one in Polito. I probably should have done the desert, but I literally just store my Avenger in there. I hardly ever go to it, if ever. And facilities wise, I think that, again, just stick to your budget and it's your choice. Keeping everything together is never a bad idea, but I did the one in Polito. All my stuff is in the desert pretty much with my MC businesses and hangar and everything. But facilities wise, if you're not doing the Doomsday Heist on a consistent basis, then I don't really think it matters what location your facility's at. And hangars. So obviously you can buy a hangar at the military base, or you can go to Los Santos International Airport. And a lot of people like the airport because they're already in the city. When they spawn in or whatever, they can get to their stuff quickly. That's great, but I would recommend getting something at the military base. I have this hangar. There's 3 different options, and the great thing about this is you can get any kind of airplane or anything from the hangar. You can even steal jets from the military base, which hopefully you don't have to because you bought a Hydra or a laser or anything like that, and you don't get stars. So it used to be, when this game came out, everybody was just stealing jets from the military base, and a lot of people couldn't do it. A lot of people could do it, but now when you have a hangar, it doesn't even matter. You can drive in there, they won't do anything to you, and if you do something stupid in the military base, it's only 2 stars, it's not 4. So I recommend buying this as the hangar. That's the best location to me. Any of these 3 will work, but I like being close to the entrance. It's usually where I come into. Like I said, you could buy one at LSIA, but for the military purpose, I feel like that outweighs, having to come all the way out there. If you have an oppressor, then the flight's not that bad, and you're still relatively close to this airfield. So I would say buying a hangar out here is going to be your best bet location-wise. And that should do it for most of the business locations, guys. Remember, the general principle is just to keep everything close together. If your stuff's close together, it's going to be a lot easier to move around and bounce from one to one. Bunkers run on their own, so all you have to do is keep them supplied. Same with the nightclub. You just have to have staff members working, and it'll make you money. So that's great because you can go do things while that makes you money. MC businesses are the same way. They're a little bit more. There's a little bit more time that you have to spend in them to make the money. They don't sell for as much, but they're still worth it, especially when you're starting out. The arcade is great. I would say it's the best way to make money right now just because of the casino heist. And once you get good at the casino heist, you don't have to have a lot of people. You can take high cuts. So remember, guys, wherever your apartments are, wherever your businesses are, just keep them together. Keep grinding, and I'll see you guys in the next video.